Happy Halloween! Hi everyone, so today we want to talk to you guys about The Walking Dead Season 6 Episode 3, Thank You. Or, having seen it, no thank you.
So we're going to make this a more lighthearted episode because it's Halloween and we wanted to celebrate that. But after the events of Sunday night, we're going to take a more reflective tone and process everything that happened.
Yeah, I'm not ready. Before we get into Glenn, I think there are a couple of things that happened in the episode that we should just touch on.
So let's quickly get into Daryl. Daryl broke away from Sasha and Colonel Abram, which was not like Daryl. Usually he listens to whatever Rick has to say.
He's like a super team player.
Yeah, but this time he totally disregarded whatever Rick had to say, and you could kind of see that coming because he did it in episode 1. He questioned what Rick had to say, and this was more of that.
He wanted to break off from the group this episode to go back to Alexandria and help them out there. So you can't fault his intentions as well. But I think by the end of the episode you could see that Daryl understood that he needed to really help out Colonel Abraham and Sasha, because you could see him coming back.
The only problem I have with Daryl is that sometimes he doesn't see the bigger picture. And Rick understands that they have to get the herd away from Alexandria in order to save Alexandria in the future. Daryl is more like, let's do what's best for the group right now.
In this moment, yeah. So let's talk about Michonne. She was badass and awesome in this episode, and I've been waiting for her to have that kind of time on screen. We haven't really seen that much from her in a while.
That's true. Michonne gave a great speech to Heath this episode, where she was like, you don't really realize what it's like out there. I think Heath and the Alexandria people have lived this sheltered life inside the walls, and Michonne was there to show them that, like, sometimes you have to leave people behind in order for you to survive.
One question I have is, remember when all the Alexandrians had gotten hurt in various ways? Like Annie broke her ankle, the other one, David, had his shoulder bitten. Made me wonder, so if that was us in that situation, if that was you, how would you survive that?
I think if I were David, I wouldn't go off on my own, because I think that at some point I would become a problem to the major group. And I wouldn't want to become that. I understand that you are still a human, but
I wouldn't let you go by yourself.
You wouldn't. That's very sweet, but I would have to. But you have to understand that I'm going to turn into a zombie. I think the best thing to do in that moment is to leave the group.
I wouldn't let you go. However, that being said, I would want to be shot in the head. Put me out of my misery right now.
Now, if I was Annie, I wouldn't want to be shot in the head.
Yeah, I mean, props to her for like throwing herself on the sword and being like, "You guys go. I will watch myself get eaten by zombies."
Did they just run out of bullets? What was the deal with that?
We got to talk about Rick and the RV and those wolves. The wolves that Morgan let go.
Yeah, I don't.
What the F, Morgan?
We talked about our last episode how what Morgan did is going to come back to haunt him, and you could see that letting the wolves go could potentially have been harmful to Rick. Rick left the group in order to go find the RV in order to help steer the herd back towards their endpoint. But in the process, Rick got injured. He hurt his hand. And I'm not quite sure how he hurt his hand. I think he did it during an attack because
I think one of the zombies got.
Yeah, he kept holding his hand. So what's the deal with Rick's hand?
I think not that much. I think it's not going to be a big deal. He's still stuck in an RV with an entire horde of zombies surrounding it.
Yeah.
So we're really not sure.
Yeah, but he was able to get out of the wolves, not so much the herd.
He got out of the wolves.
Yeah, I think all he has to do is like climb out of the top of the RV and he'll be fine. He'll find a way. He'll do like some kind of a Tarzan. He'll swing from a tree and he'll be fine.
It's time. We have to talk about it.
Glenn.
Wake up! Ma! It didn't happen. He's not dead. He's not dead. I refuse to believe it.
Is he dead? We don't know. We aren't sure. His death is not... If Glenn is
magnificent enough for the character that he was on that show. Although, watching somebody eat your intestines is pretty magnificently disgusting.
The way that it went down is Nicholas committed suicide on top of the trash bin, and then as Nicholas fell down, he carried Glenn with him. But the way it looked, Glenn fell first, Nicholas fell on top of him. So there is a possibility that the zombies were eating Nicholas instead of Glenn.
And that maybe Glenn was using Nicholas as a shield to shimmy out from under there and under the dumpster.
Who can fit under a dumpster? If that were me, I would be dead.
Glenn can totally fit under a dumpster. He's not dead.
We don't think he's dead.
He's not dead.
We don't think he's dead.
Although they did all this foreshadowing, about I have to get home, his conversation with Michonne, I have to get home.
Yeah.
And then he, pulls out Herschel's watch.
Yeah. The one thing that really stuck in my mind is when he said, "Good luck, dumbass," to Rick, which is, everybody should know, that's the very first thing he ever said to Rick when Rick was in that tank. So is that kind of like a circle of life type thing where now Glenn is dead?
Glenn's time. No, I refuse to believe it.
We watched The Talking Dead a lot, and we noticed that Glenn, or Stephen Yeun, was not on that episode last night.
And when Emily died, Emily was on it. When Tyrese died, Tyrese was on it.
Normally when somebody dies in The Walking Dead, they make an appearance on The Talking Dead. But this didn't happen this time. So Scott M. Gimple made a statement about that.
And he hasn't made statements about any other character's death, right?
Yeah. You can read into it yourself, but they are being very ambiguous about Glenn's death at this moment, which makes me think that Glenn is still alive. Like, usually when somebody dies, they're like, that person is dead. With Glenn's death, they're being a little bit more mysterious about everything, so that makes me think that he's still alive. And Glenn is a survivor. Glenn can get out of this situation if he had to.
And he is an original core member of this A-Team.
So now, everybody that's read the comic knows about Glenn's fate in the future. Even when they showed Glenn with that bat, everybody thought, well, okay, that's foreshadowing for when Negan comes, but
No Negan.
and then this episode. So I don't know. I don't know.
You said something about Glenn being a survivor, and that makes me think that the amount of time they spent on top of that dumpster was, Glenn would never have done that. Glenn would have been like, all right, buddy, come on, hustle, let's go, let's get up over this fence, let's get the hell out of here. That's one thing about this show. These people, they, just break my heart every time somebody that I hear about dies. It sucks.
Yeah, we can no longer go out in public and watch the show because normally I cry when somebody dies. It's kind of embarrassing, but there you have
It's
it.
not, I love you. It's awesome.
But I
did jump out of my chair.
Yeah,
I was like a vocal mess yesterday. I was like, what? I can't take this. It's too much.
Yeah, we both jumped out of our chairs, but I didn't feel that, and I didn't feel that
You were in
sad.
shock.
I don't know if it was shock that I was in, but it was just disbelief is more what it was. Like, it came out of, it was kind of like Tyrese's death. It came out of nowhere.
Do you think he's dead?
Here is where I'm at with this. I'm about 60% that he's dead, 40% that he's alive. So what do you guys think? Do you think Glenn's dead? Make sure to leave us a comment.
Yep, and subscribe to our channel so you can get notified as soon as we post new videos.
And don't forget to like us on social media and visit our website, UnderCurrentAtlanta.com.
Thanks, everybody. See ya.
See you later.